shades and wait till yesterday. The sunlight hurts my eyes.
Hey YouTube, what's up? This is the Mark Swimmer, and I'm here once again. And today I'm going to play a little Starcraft Brood Wars to show you that it's actually valid.
Not enough minerals.
Legit. Which I've been wanting to do for some time. First things first, I have this game set on very fast mode, so if you have it on normal settings, the game will not run this fast. Well, it might actually run faster, depending on how you do it. As in, it may not be able to respond to commands as fast
Not
like
enough
your
minerals.
units, or you might actually have trouble with
Yes, sir.
seeing how fast these SCVs are getting minerals. Whereas when you don't use fastest settings, you actually end up having a slower game. I'm just doing it now because I'm kind of pressed for time. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up a small building up a small military force before I get too deep into the game. Because I've actually noticed some of these AI's patterns, and most of the patterns is attack. They build a small army about as many of these SCVs I have here, and then just send it to attack the smaller forts, which you have by then. I find it quite annoying because then that means I have to match them, which I don't want to do because I don't want to spend all time building a military force when I can actually build a sizable one after making my economy. But, like I said, I'm going to have to. Usually I can build a bunker too by the now, but I haven't mastered the secret of being able to, actually
Not enough
generate
minerals.
enough income to sustain an army and be able to have an army itself. Because to sustain an army, you have to have minerals and Vespene gas galore, and you can't get that very quickly. I like it better when they have river maps or maps where they have to have flying units or transport units to take them across, because it takes more time. This is just going to be a quick review for what I think of Starcraft Brood Wars right now. Basically, Starcraft Brood Wars is a great game. The expansion pack adds a little bit extra, I guess, flavor to it, because the campaign is mostly the centerpiece of the game. If this game is just campaign only, I'd be pretty content with it. The only drawback is the fact that the units are extremely slow at responding at points, which is partly because I'm playing on the faster game mode speed, and also the fact that this game was made back when these were revolutionary graphics. So you can tell a little bit about that. So I'm going to make multiple bunkers, even though I probably won't be able to make enough troops to support the bunkers. But, you know, as long as I have defense, it'll be okay. I'm pretty sure I was playing this map last time, and the enemy's units got over here, and I thought I was recording, but I wasn't, so fail there. So Charlie shooting in here when there's fail there, fail here, fail there, so it's pretty impressive. But anyway, so I got destroyed because they just came in and completely destroyed me. I had minimal defenses and was unable to support my army that I was building at the time. I didn't have enough time to build enough forces. Before you knew it, I had both these two structures that I have right now were actually fleeing somewhere over here to some island that I couldn't hit. And then eventually I just couldn't defend it enough because they were sending in troops and siege tanks and all these soldiers that I couldn't defend my base from.
Not enough minerals.
And right now I'm just more focusing on a military campaign basically. I'm trying to make sure I have enough military forces to keep off the enemy invaders, which I'm sure will come there fairly soon.
SCV good to go, sir.
These extra SCVs are just for gathering minerals and such, because you really want to focus on minerals because Vespene gas can be gathered later in the game when you have more minerals to build more geysers and have more units. But minerals are the centerpiece, as you can build marines
Job's finished.
without any Vespian gas required whatsoever.
You want a piece of me,
Not enough
boy?
minerals.
Jacked up and good to go.
And you also need to build the barracks early, as you need to train marines as fast as you can, or else the AIs will come down with 50,000 of them and completely destroy you.
Reporting for duty.
And you also need bunkers. The
You
mighty
want a
bunker
piece of me, boy?
cannot stand on its own though, because the bunker is basically just a giant hunk of metal that protects marines temporarily from the outside world, aka enemies.
You want a piece of me, boy?
That's pretty much all it does. It doesn't support increased firepower or anything, it just gives you
Job's
350
finished.
damage, I guess you could call it, or health before something goes wrong. And you
want a piece of me,
have all
boy?
these four
Let's move.
marines just sitting like ducks. So you have to have a couple of them, and you have to have them in close proximity, because for some reason,
SCV good
if
to
the
go,
unit's
sir.
right here, and this bunker shooting
want
out
a
these
piece of me,
marines are just
boy?
like, oh, I can't reach that.
Commander. Outstanding.
So that's one
Give
of
me
the
something to
drawbacks of this
shoot.
game.
Yes,
But
sir.
I really love this game as it's a classic, and it was made back in 1998, 1997, and that's not that long ago. But the
Outstanding.
thing is,
Report
back
for
then
duty.
they didn't have as great graphics or gaming engineers
sir.
as we do now. So I
sir.
can imagine how difficult it would be to create a game of this standard, as it's very, very in-depth, and the campaign is amazing. The
SCV
tone
good
of
to go,
voices
sir.
are a little repetitive, but you can always know what they're from, while some are just annoying, and I would like to make fun of.
Additional supply
SCV
depots
good to go,
required.
sir.
And also one of the drawbacks is they won't even let you build units when you don't have enough supply depots. So that's why I like having the giant production line, because it really allows me to continue production in case I run out. I like Starcraft 2 better, but honestly, that game is, since it's backed up like most games nowadays by internet connection, it's so hard to find a good craft version, or you're gonna have to buy the real
Orders
version.
received.
I'm not finding.
Reporting for duty.
So, yeah.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Yeah,
SCV good to
basically
go,
I'm just
sir.
building up these forces, and I'm surprised the enemies haven't reached me yet, so it leads me to believe that I'm on
Yes,
the
sir.
ground.
Reporting for
Which
duty.
is kind of a scary thought for me, because that means that
SCV good to You go, want a piece sir. of me, boy?
I
Right
have
away,
no
sir.
clue where I am.
Reporting for duty.
So what I'm going to do is build a factory so I can have more mobile
Give me
units
something
in
to
the
shoot.
areas. And I'm not sure if I'm going to need the anti-air, but as soon as
want a
I
piece
have
of
to
me,
build an
boy?
engineering bay. And that's pretty much, I think it's a very important structure in StarCraft, as
Standing by.
the Marines
Jacked up and good to go.
are anti-air. I guess they're really one of the only
Piece of me,
anti-air things
boy.
that you can get inside the clan.
SCV good to go, sir.
The reason that I call them anti-air is because they're devastating against air, but the missile turrets just completely destroy every single little... If there were birds, they could pinpoint them and destroy
SCV good
them.
to go, sir. Give me something to shoot.
But except instead of regular fleshy birds, these are birds that will come down and shoot lasers at you,
Yes, sir. Right away,
which
sir.
is kind of a hazard
Affirmative.
sometimes.
Job's finished. You want a piece of me, boy? Rock and roll. Job's
So
finished.
yeah, I'm just going to be playing this for like 15
Yes,
minutes.
sir.
Probably going to put it into one video.
I read you. Orders received.
It's fun. And the turret, and even though I know, like I said earlier, there might be some programming issues if this is an early game. But the fact is that some units don't have a logic board installed. In other words, they don't know what the heck they're doing. One time I had an army, sizable force that was much greater than this tiny little one, about this many marines. I had 5 times as many marines, Goliath with a basically giant armor mechanicals things,
Additional supply depots required.
Yes, sir.
and vultures galore. These folks giant creeping, see, my forces stay back to attack. So it's great.
Can't build it. Something's in the way.
Your forces are under attack.
Bring it on, Commander.
And these siege tanks because I only have vultures. They have siege tanks.
Something on your mind?
Don't have this guy go and salvage. Or not. Siege tanks are devastating, but they're not that effective. As in, they can destroy buildings fairly well, but they can't kill units as well as they should.
Standing by.
Because you can have overwhelming. Now this is not the perfect demonstration
Piece of me, boy.
for siege tanks.
Rock and roll.
Because usually when I have soldiers, the siege tank is useless. And bunkers are rendered useless on the siege tanks because they have a greater range than
Go,
they
go,
can.
go.
They have to spread your
You want a
units
piece of me,
out
boy?
of the squadron.
Outstanding. Commander.
As siege tanks
Good to
have
go.
area blast,
Your forces are
which
under
if you're in
attack.
close contact with the enemies,
Something on your
it's
mind?
actually a good thing. It benefits you.
You want a piece of me,
As
boy?
you send in like groups of small groups of marines,
Rock
like
and
one at a
roll.
time, they won't be able to destroy you. Where's that? I sent one vulture over and it's taking my dude. Might win.
Alright, bring it on.
See, vultures are
Piece of
effective,
me, boy.
but I lost most of my defenses,
Yeah?
which is a bad thing. Because they're most likely going to send many more over. So I'm just going to beef up on soldiers, and now that I know
Piece of me, boy.
where their defenses are, or their offenses, I don't know how to say that, where their offense is,
SCP good to go, sir.
I know I need to concentrate more anti-everything in that
Piece
area.
of me, boy.
And I also know that they have a sizable military force, as their first attack had siege tanks and a larger amount of soldiers than I had been able to build. So that means I need to build more of a military fortress.
You want a piece of me, boy?
And yeah. So basically, what you're going to want to do is start early if you're facing AIs. Because AIs are these ruthless little deprived of childhood people that decide that, oops, I'm just going to be annoying. They're fairly easy to defend from as they're AIs, so they don't have
Job's finished.
a very good
SCP
sense
go,
of
sir.
how to actually
Bring it on.
comprehend with most of the situations that you can throw at them.
You want a
For
piece of me,
example, you're a
boy?
human being. You have a slight advantage, as in that you have a regular brain that can adapt.
SCP good to go, sir.
They're programmed to adapt to certain situations. Their adaptation of something is definitely not probably what they're programmed to. But if they have a more freeform program, it may be increasingly difficult for you to
Yeah?
be
Reporting for
able
duty.
to fix that problem.
Want a piece of me, boy?
See, a freeform allows it to give
Bring it on. Give me
has
some
more
of this shit.
situations, but they're fairly hard to do.
Job's finished.
There's more situations that the AI is ready for,
No
which
problem.
is a big problem
Orders,
for me.
Captain.
Because,
Want
or
a
you,
piece of me, boy?
because look, if you have
Give me some of this shit.
an AI that doesn't know how to think for itself, that has this logic board or this something that tells it, oh, you must do this if this happens. Well, there'll be this one that they actually allow to think for itself, which may be, you might think, oh, it gets to be on its own. Wouldn't that mean that it would be easier? Because it would not be able to follow
Right away, sir.
pro procedures, I would say, because. But the thing is, the truth of it is that they'd be able to adapt more quickly to the situation. I'm expecting I'm expecting a much larger force, but it's just going to be more Marines, and then
You want a piece of me,
I'll be
boy?
around. Hey YouTube, this is Demerc Swimmer, and I'm here to tell you that I'm sorry, because that little end part, I didn't realize that it was late enough, so my parents told me to get off, and if I didn't listen to them, and I would have not been able to make any more videos for you guys, and also the fact that, well, it was extremely late, and tomorrow was the end of spring break, so I had to wake up early, so I just decided that it would be better if I ended it there, which wasn't that great of an idea. So I promise it won't happen in the future. My parents don't really care if I'm making YouTube videos, so they have not problems with it. It's just the fact that they don't really care that much, so, and they didn't know either, so it's not their fault. So yeah, I'm sorry, and this won't happen again in the future. This is Jim Swimmer signing off.